so the 18 horsepower needs some work. I just want to change the seals in it. I haven't done the seal job. I've watched them on YouTube before, but I was afraid to tackle it because I just didn't feel like it. And there's a lot of tools involved that I don't own. I haven't seen it done professionally on a Evinrude 18 horsepower in this year. So let's tackle it, put it on YouTube, and help some other people. Suck it up and let's do it. What do you think? This is blackout build, by the way. We're going to work on the, this is a 69 Evinrude. 18 horsepower. What else? I don't know about it. Okay, we're going to show you me and the baby. Say hi. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Let's get it done. So, first thing, let's get it out of the way, is to remove the plate to reveal the shift linkage. I believe on the motor, on the Johnsons, which are the same years, pretty much the same motor, you just drop the lower unit and reveal the shift linkage connector. On this one, it comes with a nice little plate. And, sorry, there you go. I still got the baby in my hands. Boom. 2 screws. Black as heck because I believe I got an oil seal leak. So, 2, looks like flathead screwdrivers. Those will come off, and then that'll allow me to undo the bolts and get the lower unit apart. Alright, so 4 bolts, the 1 bolt, and then this, the shift linkage, I tried to get away with just like loosening it. Whether I was right or wrong, I ended up taking them out 90% of the way, so, you know, the whole thing's going to fall anyway, so you can loosen them, you don't have to worry about the bolts falling anywhere. Once you take those out, lower unit's going to drop. I'm not going to lie, I'm not familiar with this piece here. It's pretty loose in there. I am a mechanic by hobby, not by trade. I'm going to put that in my description. But we're going to do some YouTube research, as I always do. Definitely going to change the impeller in there, and we're going to work on this. We're going to work on this whole lower unit. So I will find out what that is, get back to y'all, and we're going to see if it needs replacing. Okay, cool. Okay, 3/8 on the hex nut, or you can use a flathead. F flatheads, my personal opinion. Then your typical 7/16 on the bottom. Just give you an overall view, right? Right bottom leg, upper it, 7/16. Years 55 and below, all the way up to, this motor is 69. I believe it goes up even higher than that. And then finally, a 14 millimeter, oh no, I'm sorry, 9/16. 9/16. I love that they're all standard. On this guy, I should be able to lift the lower unit out. I didn't drain the oil yet in the lower part of it. That will come. I should have did that first. But that lower unit's coming apart anyway because we're resealing the gear case. So this is what we're at. Take that out, and we're going to drop the lower leg. So the lower unit is out. Before I drain the oil, prop off, and all this other stuff, I'm just taking off the water pump and whatever this piece. Oh, it comes with the cup. Okay, so there's an O-ring at the top here that comes off. There's your O-ring. Probably should get a new one. There's 3 flathead screwdrivers here. 1, 2, and 3. There's a rubber grommet here. It looks to be in bad shape. That's in terrible shape, so I'll probably replace this. This comes with the cup. It's got an O-ring on it. I've never seen that. I've seen a million water pumps on these engines, and not a million, but an overall on YouTube I've seen enough where that one behooves me. But once you get that O-ring off, you should be able to just slide it up and out. Some of the older ones have a roll pin, something blocking it from coming up. Oh. You hold the drive shaft down. Hold it down. I'm trying to film, so you hold down with one hand, pull the other. Otherwise, you'll pull the drive shaft up, and sometimes the pinion gear will drop. I plan on taking this gig off and sealing the whole lower unit, so it's no problem for me. But if you're just changing an impeller, say, make sure you hold the drive shaft down. You do not want to pull up and leaving stuff in the gear case open. So let's take a look at the impeller for the first time. This water pumped water, no problem. Impeller seems to be in good shape. I bought a new one because I knew I'd be resealing it, so I'm trying to sell this to make some money, so it'd be nice to tell the guy I got a brand new impeller in it. This one looks to be good. Maybe I'll save it for a future project if I need it, if I'm in a pinch. there's a hole used for an air bubble. Just pull it out. A lot of people will say because the fins are fixed bent that this is a bad impeller. I don't agree with that. If it's pumping water and they're not braked and cracked, there's nothing wrong with it. The fins are usually you get a lot of them that are really stuck like this. Okay, then okay. If you know the impeller's 10 years old, yeah, change it. There's nobody wants to be stranded on the water for something stupid like this, especially if you got it out already. They're cheap enough. I mean, yeah, they're 20, 30 bucks. This is actually, of course, this impeller's in a lot better. Don't forget your key. You see this always. The key in there. You don't need vice grips to pull it out. I just don't have fingers to pull it out. The key. Do not lose that. You will need a new one. Focus on this turtle. There it is. That slides out. It's just a pin. Comes right out. If you get needle noses, don't lose that. So, with your lower unit still attached to the motor. Hold on, William. Hold on, William. Why does nobody ever hear me?
Are you doing something?
Yes, hold on. Get your cotter pin out. There's a cotter pin in there. Pull it out and then unscrew this. With the lower leg attached, it makes it easier to hold everything in tight depending on how tight this is. So do that first. Pull this off. And then your prop slides off. This is the 69 now. 69 has a shear pin. Some of them have splines. Shear pin in here. Push that out, so slide right out. That will get you access to other stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to drain the lower unit. I'm going to pop this screw out to drain it. That's the vent up top. If you are working on this and you want to drain the oil, do not touch the screw. Do not touch the screw. Do not touch this screw. You will throw your lower unit out of whack. Clutch dog is attached to it. If you're going to work on the lower unit, don't worry about that screw. It's fair. Don't be afraid of it. But don't touch it if you're going to fucking do that. Go. So I'm still taking the seals out of the 69 18 horsepower Evinrude. My kit looks like a lot of others' kits online. It's the 18 26. There we go. Layer 01728. 26 which replaces these other guys. I'm finding out that the seals aren't lining up. This was the prop shaft seal that came out. I wanted to show you how I did it. So mine's different than what I've seen in the past. And thanks to the guys at iBoats. Simple answer, take the washer off. So once I got my screwdriver, I put it in a vise with some soft surrounding, got it decently tight, took my screwdriver in there, no special tool, and just propped up on it. This popped off, so outer washer, which I've never seen before. Now that reveals the seal. And then I just stuck my screwdriver in and pried up, in and up on this side, in and up on that side, then I have to rotate it. Otherwise I would have spun in the vise. So then it pops out. This is the seal that pops out. It looks like every other seal. The seals in the kit are all skinny. And there was another YouTuber just posted a seal done on his Johnson 18 horsepower, so I was excited to see that. And the seals are skinnier, so when I pulled out the drive shaft seal, which the kit didn't come with, or no, I can't say that. Pulled out the drive shaft seal. Drive shaft seal is really thick. It's thick like the... Hold on! Prop shaft seal. It's thick like that. But the guy on YouTube installed the skinnier one, and it recessed a little lower, but he said it was okay, so that made me feel better. No problems there. The problem with the new, what looks to be a prop shaft seal, is it's thick like the one, but the inner diameter is wrong. You can see the huge difference there in the inner diameter. That ain't right. I don't know why this 18 horsepower is giving me so much troubles finding parts. Like that water pump. Is this thing. I still haven't had an answer for what this thing is. Whatever the top part of that housing is. And it comes off, slides right out. And then it looks like every other Evinrude impeller I've ever seen. So, alright. In order to pop the shift shaft bushing out of its home, which is deep in there. That's where the hole is. This is the bottom going down. Very simple. A couple channels have already done it. I'm confirming. And it doesn't look like you can hit it. Right, so that's where the bushing sits. From the bottom, it doesn't look like you're really grabbing the bushing, but go to Home Depot, 5/16. That's your size. Buy a 5/16 threaded rod. 5/16 threaded rod. Stick it in the hole. It'll fit just past the casting. Start banging on it. Your bushing will come out. It might stick to the end, so you're going to have to kind of jam it out. You may damage the seal. You may do some damage to the bushing, but not where it counts. So you're fine. Take a threaded rod, bang it out. The bushing will come out wherever I put it. Okay, on my motor, this is the bushing. The O-ring goes inside. The shift shaft seal is just a big fat rubber O-ring. Goes inside the bushing. And on my motor 69, there's a little plastic gasket that rests on here that goes in first. So when you reverse install it, it's gasket, bushing, O-ring inside the bushing, then you tap the bushing back in the hole. On other models, it's just bushing and O-ring on the outside. Okay, so it's a little bit different on the newer from the older ones, but this is 69. A lot of the ones you see worked on are the 50s, late 50s, early 60s. On the 69, 18 horsepower, it's this kind of setup. So the rubber O-ring is going to go inside the bushing, and then there's a plastic gasket that goes on that, and then it's assembled this way into the lower unit. Sorry, Mr. Klutz. I put the new drive shaft seal in there. I've put, like I explained, the plastic gasket first. The O-ring fit inside the bushing. Bushing is pushed down. I used a socket, like a 12-inch long socket, about within it. It's flush. It's perfectly flush. The shift rod will then slide right through it. That's over here. So we're done sealing the lower unit. Now we have to seal the skeg up. A bunch of videos on this as well. Nothing different here. I'm going to put the drive shaft seal in there first. New O-ring, spaghetti seal. I'm going to take it out and clean it up. I've been saving this for last because I'm afraid to not put it back together the way it came apart. Lots of pieces there. Okay, sorry for knocking the camera. So let's get to it. I've inserted the seal and I've pushed it in as far as I can push it, just to make sure that it's going in evenly. And then, as you may or may not know, you want your seal to go in as straight as possible, obviously. But what happens if it doesn't? Well, you either have to pry it out and start all over with a new seal. Luckily, the 18 horsepower, which again I have not seen it on other models, has a washer assembly at the end of it. So it was crooked. It was straight up crooked. When I put the washer in, one hand was up. So with the help of the washer, I put the socket back on top, and this, the washer can only go so far this end, so it straightened it out on the other side. And now we got a nice flush washer assembly with the seal now straight and beautiful. Alright, so with the seals in place, stick your shift rod back through the hole. Line your gears up. There's pins and holes. Again, I'm not the first guy on YouTube. There's a ton of them. There's a hole in this unit and a pin on the bottom, and there's a guide in this. So there's only one way you can go. And then with that in place, you can grab, it's in the box, the saddle. There's a saddle that goes in the clutch dog there, and that will attach that to that. Then we can put the spaghetti strap in the skeg and reattach everything. I did find out that the seal was proper for this. The inner diameter had an O-ring that was stuck in it, and it didn't belong there. This is the O-ring here. Actually didn't know what this ring was for. Thanks to the guy on eBay that sold me the kit, helped me out. It was supposed to be for the top of the drive shaft, but it's too big. It's for the 25 horsepower. So this is an 18 horsepower. The 25 horsepower takes this size O-ring. I did have to buy a new O-ring for the drive shaft because mine was cracked. That's on Kylie. So the kit comes with everything. The only thing you didn't need was this O-ring, unless you have the 25 horsepower.